Hello there and welcome back to the channel. I'll just turn the fans down. So you join me on another 2 coffee morning and also a very wet morning in Scotland. Chaos. The weather is shockingly shit. Oh my god, I'm just getting so... You'll see a lot of my films recently have been frustrations on the weather. When we get good days, we get really good days, but there's just no consistency. It's like one day in a fortnight where it's like 20 degrees or a bit more. You know, we're going to be hitting September just shortly, Sunday, so yeah, not the best, not the best. So, very early start to the morning, which isn't on my plan for today. So my plan for today was to have a super long sleep because we've got lots of travelling tomorrow. Tomorrow I am going to Portugal. Super awesome, cannot wait. Heading back over to Portugal for some amazing quality family time with my wife and daughter. Catching up with some really good friends, Carl, Debbie and the locals, getting some quality cycling in, so we'll get about 10 days worth of cycling, get a boat trip. It's just going to be, get some good weather, some heat. It's just going to be super awesome. And I'm going to be honest, you know, this video, it's going to be a churn video, a YouTube churn video. I don't have any amazing cycling dynamic videos this week. I've been super busy. I'm going to be brutally honest, I've not had the best week. I've had a little bit of a stressful week, and things really haven't went my way at all this week, or actually for the last few weeks, to be honest. So I need to recover that, and I need to recover from that. So what better way to go to Portugal? Super awesome. Whoa, this weather is chaos. Seriously strong winds. The car is really buffeting around, and we are in the awesome Hyundai i30, which is actually technically my wife's car. And as I've said in previous films, I really recommend the Hyundai i30. Hyundai, I believe, is a very underrated vehicle manufacturing brand. I've had BMW, Mercedes, I've had the privilege to drive some super nice cars where I used to lease. And now that we own our own vehicles outright, we've got a Hyundai i30, which was my wife's car, 2013 model, when she passed her driving test. It's now got nearly 100,000 miles on it, 1.6 turbo diesel automatic, and it's absolutely tight as a drum. It is just phenomenal, and nothing, touch wood, nothing has went wrong with it. It's just been the best little, well I say little, family hatchback car size. The best, and I can get the bike in the back with the seats folded. It's just been the best, most reliable. It handles well. Yeah, it's only 110 brake horsepower, but with that wee boost from the turbo, it actually feels a lot quicker than what the power suggests. The automatic gearbox, yeah, it's nothing compared to Audi, Mercedes or BMW, but it is okay. It does what it needs to do. And you've got the option to change it to manual, so you can flick up and flick down just like on a BMW, Mercedes or Audi. You don't have any flappy paddles, but you don't need them. But super awesome car, by the way. Cheap as chips. I mean, this car, what did it cost? When we bought this car, it was ex-mobility, 2 years old. It had less than 20,000 miles on it. 5-year warranty, and I think it was like £8,000. And now it's like nearly 100,000 miles. We've had it for like 4 years. You know, the car's going to be 7 years old just shortly. And it's never needed anything, and it doesn't squeak, it doesn't rattle, it drives very well, corners very well. If I had a criticism on it, I would say it's a bit bouncy, so when you get the road dips and the bounces, it does feel like the suspension wants to bottom out. You know, it's a bit soft in that respect, but when you corner in, it's not too bad. I like to drive dynamically, and although I won't advertise it, some far better, higher spec cars that I have been driving dynamically on some very twist roads, I've actually had the upper hand, so against other larger premium branded vehicles. So I really like it, so much so I would like to experience the Hyundai i30N, which is the fire-breathing monster of the sports version of this vehicle, with nearly 300 brake horsepower. I think 275 standard, but a lot of people kind of tune them up to 300, 305. So I would like to have a go with that. And also the Hyundai Tucson and Santa Fe. I do like the new Santa Fe, which is like, it's like the equivalent of a BMW X5. It's Hyundai's BMW X5 equivalent, and it's got a 7-seat option. You can also get it with hybrid tech. Super good. So I do recommend Hyundai, and I would have another one. I absolutely would have another one. The only reason why we actually bought the Hyundai i30 was because I had to hire a car one day, and I had to drive at it was something like a 500-mile round trip, and all that was available was a Hyundai i30. It was actually a 1.4 petrol that was available at the time, manual, and I remember being so impressed with it, how it drove, the comfort, from what is quite a cheap, reasonably priced box standard vehicle. So we saw a good deal on one at Arnold Clark, and I'm like, that's the car for you, that is it. You know, my wife drives manual, she passed the driving test in the manual, but like automatic, it's just so easy. And because we were going in and out of Edinburgh, the faffing around, the gear changes, you know, if you're in a big town or city constantly, the gear changing and the clutch ride, it just messes the vehicle up. So I went for automatic, and it's been super great, super great. And as I say, I would have another Hyundai model. The service, the local garage I've dealt with, which is Hyundai, Macklin Motors Hyundai, in Edinburgh, never had a single issue, very good, very accommodating. It's been fine, not a problem. So check out Hyundai. Okay, so this is going to be a long waffling video. This is going to be a talking video, so I keep digressing, obviously, because I haven't done anything this week really. I've been super busy with a load of things that I won't really bore you the details with, but I've done some training, enough to prep my legs for Portugal. Yesterday was a brutal training session, but my legs are a bit smashed today, but it's good. So Sunday, tomorrow, will be a complete travelling day, so I need to drive to my parents, drop my dog off, Little Socks. My parents are kindly going to look after my dog for a couple of weeks, and then I need to drive to Newcastle Airport, and then we'll get our flights, like 2 hours 45 minutes flight, I think. And then once I get to the airport, I need to go pick up a vehicle. I don't know what vehicle I'm getting, and I've just done a lucky dip. So I specified the price range that I want to pay for the vehicle. So I'll get a vehicle. Check out Zest. They're actually Portuguese. They're not the local hire firm from the airport. Zest, I used them before. My mate Carl, who now lives in Portugal, that we will go and visit, and that I'll be cycling with, he recommended them, and they've been absolutely fantastic, really good, super cheap, good to deal with, no issues at all, none of this mucking around at checking the vehicle. The waiver, I pay the waiver for the insurance where it doesn't matter what happens to the vehicle. Very, very cheap in comparison to having to go through all the paperwork and a faff of if you leave your vehicle parked and somebody scrapes it. So I do recommend to do that. You know, don't be tight, it may come back and bite you in the backside in the long run. So I just pay the waiver, and then I don't really need to care after that, so that's very good. So yeah, last time I had a Fiat Tipo, which was actually a really good car, a similar size vehicle to the Hyundai i30, and it was alright. So the price bracket that I've paid for, I could have anything family saloon size. So we'll just need to see what I get. I am hoping for a Fiat 500, which is a tiny little car, I know, but there's something really fun about it. Again, I've driven a Fiat 500, just the bog standard one, the 1.2, and I found it super fun and enjoyable, and driving around with a wee bit of a smile on my face, so that was very good. So, hell, sorry, I just can't believe this weather. It's so terrible, so terrible. So once again, I'm looking forward to catching up with my good friend Carol when I'm over in Portugal. As I've said, obviously the big priority, family time. So my wife and I work pretty hard. Obviously we've got our amazing daughter, and because of how we work with the shifts and things, so we get the maximum amount of time with our daughter. You know, basically we're on different shifts, so we don't really get to see much of each other. And obviously I'm bike racing and training, which my wife supports, and I'm very, very lucky. I'm super lucky to have the wife that I have, because she's very supportive. I do everything that I can possible. I always put my daughter to bed. I'm always there in the evenings, and so I'm really lucky, because for everything that I do, the amount of travelling, you know, being super tired after hard training sessions, not a lot of people would put up with that. That's a good point, actually. I don't actually know what my wife's doing with me. She's super awesome, amazing personality, absolutely stunningly beautiful, 7 years younger than me as well, which is chaos, and which I didn't know, by the way. I didn't know that when we first met. But she thought I was younger than I actually was as well, so you know, that is what it is. That's the cycling, by the way, that does that. Yep, gonna be 42 shortly. Oh my god, that's chaos. That's chaos. I can't believe it. Middle-aged man, midlife crisis and all that shenanigans. But my midlife crisis isn't going away and getting a Porsche or looking for something, as some people do. It is going to be probably bikes. So there you go, or doing something crazy like some big adventure, just to prove that I'm still young to do that. Oh, junction. Alright, so at the moment, as I say, super early start. My daughter decided to wake me up at 10 to 6 this morning, which is actually the same time that I get up for work, and obviously I don't need to get up for work today. Or we'll play that by ear, so you know, we'll see what happens here. But yeah, so I don't need to get up for work for today, for example, and we're up at 10 to 6, so chaos, absolute chaos, and I feel super wide awake, which is a little annoying, because tomorrow I'm going to be smashed, because there's so much travelling, driving, playing, then driving again. So when I pick up the car, when we land in Portugal, it's about an hour and a half's drive to where I'm going to be staying, which is an amazing flat. I have the opportunity to have a flat for the 2 weeks, which is super awesome. Really happy about that. And it's literally a 2-minute walk away from my friend Carol's, so that's going to be excellent. And the temperature there at the moment, wow, it's like 40 degrees. It's really, oh yeah, hot. Compared to our 13 in Scotland today. Having said that, a few days ago, as you'll have seen from my previous film, it was like 20, 22, so which was very good. So yeah, many Portugal adventures coming up in the films, which is good. I'd also just like to say a thank you. Obviously I don't have that many followers, subscribers. I don't really care. People ask me, why do you do YouTube? You've actually been doing it for quite a long time now, when you don't have that many subscribers, blah blah blah. Do you know what? I don't care. I make these films for my enjoyment, because A, I enjoy it. It's like it's a hobby. I like that technical aspect, and years ago when I was much younger and I was mountain biking, I was a teenager, this technology didn't exist, or it was super expensive. And as a teenager, you've got like a shitty job and not working, or being a cyclist, as in my case, which doesn't really give you any money at that point in time of being a teenager and just starting, really. So, you know, that's that's why I'm doing it now. So it's kind of reliving some of the stuff I wanted to do when I was younger, and now I have the finance, the budget, the opportunities to do these things now, and still the fitness, which is good. Also, I do it to motivate myself, so I use this as like a motivational stick. So when I say I'm going to do something and whoever watches it, I then feel obligated to go do that thing. So that helps motivate myself. And I also do this to motivate other people, because as you know, with my background, I'm a self-made person. Financially, I do okay. I've got an awesome family, but it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that. You know, there's been hard times, there's been illnesses, there's been facing the fact that I can't pursue my dreams because of medical conditions, but then saying fuck it and going and having a go anyway. So there's all of that, and the mental aspect of that as well, which can be demanding, and it has been more demanding recently than any other point in time, which is a bit bizarre, because looking at everything on paper, it's probably the least demanding time mentally that I've experienced in terms of like some illness, being given some bad news and things like that. But I'm actually finding it harder to deal with this time round, rather than previously when I was told you can't do this, you can't do that, this may be life-threatening, blah blah blah. But it's almost back then it was like sticking two fingers up to everything and just cracking on, proving everybody wrong, which I kind of have done to a degree. So it's almost like that's completed, and it's almost like that doesn't even matter anymore. But the reason why I do that and film it is to motivate other people not to dwell on things, not to get tied up into things, which may sound a bit hypocritical on occasion, because sometimes I do get a little bit down, because you know, you can think about things and think about the what ifs that jump in, and it's maybe a middle-aged thing. It's like when you're rattling downhill at 45 miles an hour, nearly 50 miles an hour, you know, 10 years ago I'd be like, yeah, let's go, 60, let's get 60 on a bike, you know, in Lycra. And now I'm like, oh, what if that handlebar snaps, what if the carbon cracks, you know, all these thoughts are going through my mind. Oh, it's a bit windy, these deep section wheels, I don't want to do a Froomey. For those of you that don't know what a Froomey is, Chris Froome, Tour de France champion, had an unfortunate situation this year where he didn't make it to the start of the Tour de France because he was on his time trial bike. A gust of wind caught his front wheel, deep section front wheel, propelled him into a wall, and he sustained multiple injuries that he's still recovering from. So I hope you have a speedy recovery, Chris. It was just one of these unfortunate situations, but it wrote his season off. So I wish you all the best, Chris. Hope for a speedy recovery. Hope you get another Tour de France win. But that's how easy it is in this game to, you know, amazing bike handling skills, and you know, you do the normal thing, just like going out crossing the road, looking both ways. If a speeding car suddenly comes from nowhere breaking the speed limit, there isn't a lot you can do about that when you're halfway across the road. Just like, you know, you go to make some adjustment, you go to take something out of your back pocket to fuel yourself, clear your nose, whatever, and a gust of wind hits you. It's just, these things, you do them naturally and you need to do them, but you can't predict a gust of wind coming and hitting you and then propelling you at warp speed into a wall. You know, it's just, you can't, you know, it's one of these things, unfortunate. So I know it looks like I'm digressing quite a lot, but there's a point to all this. So it's to motivate, you know, so we're doing a lot of motivational things. You know, don't be a victim, don't be stuck, don't think that you can't achieve anything. Crack on, get it done. Obviously there are some limitations depending on your personal situations, but make the best of them, and that's what I'm doing, or trying to do. Yeah, things can become overwhelming, but the way I see it is, you know, you've conquered it once, you just need to rise out of it. You need to rise out of it. So that's the top tip for today. Rise above it, and move on. You're not happy, move on. It's not always quite as easy as that, but you know, we will see. I need another coffee, I think. Yeah, I feel a bit groggy today, definitely tired. The sun's actually coming out, believe it or not, the sun is coming out. So anyway, I'm driving so early, there's small lots of water on the road. Shit. I need to put the visor down. The sun's out, it's raining, and now it's getting warmer. Combination day. Only in Scotland this happens. So I'm driving to Peebles because look at this. We need a haircut. It's haircut day again. This is happening very frequently. So I like the hairdressers in Peebles, and I like going there, and because I live effectively in a field, there's nothing round me, and this is really the closest one that I like, and Peebles is a lovely little place. So it's 8:35 now. Get to the hairdressers for when it opens, get a haircut, and then I need to go pay some bills, fork out some cash, because I'm going to be away for a little while. So I just need to make sure everything's all good, and I'm not worrying about anything when I'm away. Although that still happens, regardless of how prepared you are, that still happens. So I'm trying to be as prepared as possible. We may actually go to Pedal Power Bike Shop today. I don't know, there's a lot to do. I still need to pack my bags. I actually also want to do a spin on the bike. Even though I did a hard training session last night, I'm going to have 10 days worth of back-to-back riding. Because tomorrow's a travel day, I actually would like to spin my legs, even just easy for a bit of a high cadence today, just to keep them loose and flushed. Because all that travelling, honestly, you feel like, you might think, oh, you're sitting, you're travelling, you're resting. I've got a lot of driving to do. And being cooked up in the plane and that recycled air and shit, it's just, I always feel like some kind of hangover, you know. So, but once again, big shout out to my subscribers and followers, especially the main man from New Zealand, who gives me very nice comments and feedback. I really appreciate that, so thank you for that. I hope you're watching this film on this occasion. I do know you watch regularly, and I really do appreciate that. You sound a very nice person, and I appreciate the comments, so thank you, thanks for that. Really appreciate it, so I hope you get that message. And also my good mate Carl, who comments frequently on my posts as well, which we will be going to see. We'll be making some films with Carl, and obviously my good friend Mark as well, who I make the mountain biking films with and the shenanigan films with, where we do things just for fun. So that is very good. Future news, we may have another record on the horizon. Yep, so big news. I'm not committing to it, and this isn't clickbait, by the way. I'm not committing to it. It's going to depend on a lot of factors. I've had a really busy year this year, and I need to focus on some other specifics. But my fitness is really good. I'm demonstrating good power, and I have an idea for another event, another record. Nothing's confirmed, nothing's really been planned. There's only been a very 2-minute, oh, I like the idea of that, with coach, and that has been it. So we will need to see what happens there. I'm not even going to comment what it is. It's going to be endurance again, a big endurance event, and it's going to take its toll. It's going to be brutal and punishing, seriously brutal. Probably the hardest one yet, and it's going to be a solo one this time. I'll need a support team, but it's going to be a solo record this time. So we will see how that goes. So we're going to pick up just shortly in Peebles. I'm getting towards Peebles now. Amazing place, check it out. Also check out Glen Tress, which is about 3 miles outside of Peebles, where Peel Cafe is located. check them out. Really good cafe. Peebles is a great little town, good for tourists. So catch up shortly, alright? Just a minute. Okay, so haircut is done. I'll sort out when I get back. I need to get a shower, wash the hair and all that nonsense. And then go pay the bills. So I need to go pay some bills, get some things. As I said, maybe check out Pedal Power Bike Shop because I've got some amazing deals on 2019 Giant bike stock. They want to bring the 2020 stock in, so check out Pedal Power for some seriously shit hot deals on Giant road bikes at the moment, so they can get rid of the 2019 stock. So check it out, super cool. So it's still raining, it's still wet, but at least the sun is out at the moment for the time being. So I will go pick up my wife. We will then go get our euros and get some money, and 'cause I need some cash to pay for my accommodation when I arrive late tomorrow night, early Monday morning. So as I've said, it is going to be chaos. I probably won't get to accommodation till around about 1 o'clock on the Monday morning, and then I'm going to be up at 6 AM the Monday morning to go for some cycling. So just short 2.5 hour ride, just to wake the legs up, cup of coffee with my mate, and then family day in afternoon, get some shopping in to the apartment. So right, catch up shortly. Okay, so we have done a little bit of training, 40 minutes, an average of 260 watts, spinning high cadence, keeping it above 105 RPM cadence speed. And now we are on our way to Pedal Power to pick up a couple of things before the flight tomorrow to Portugal. So we will go check out Pedal Power and see what cool stuff they've got. As I said, they've got some great deals on bikes. I am under strict instruction from my wife not to purchase a bike, so I better listen, otherwise I will be in trouble. And I will need to sleep in the garage. So we won't be doing that. Alright, so catch up shortly. Okay, so that's us been in Pedal Power, and we've got some arm warmers. Now, you may be wondering why I've got arm warmers and I'm going to Portugal when it'll be above 30 degrees. So the reason behind that is I'll be leaving super early in the morning because it gets so hot, and these are actually to protect my arms. So although they're called arm warmers, I'll actually use them to protect my arms from the sun, despite having sun cream, because I did get burnt quite badly the last time I was there, only really in the last 2 days, but I used arm warmers and I kindly borrowed some. So I've got some arm warmers rather than having a thicker base layer on with sleeves, because then I overcook and get too hot. So I will be doing that. So that's it done. I didn't film in Pedal Power today, pretty busy, and you know, some people don't like being filmed, so just got to be courteous to other individuals, customers, etc. You know, people in the shop, so you just got to do that really. Need to be careful, all this copyright stuff and people suing people because they don't want to be in social media. There's maybe somebody in there buying a bike and they shouldn't be because their wife told them not to. So they've got some brilliant stock on Giant Propel discs, 2019 models that they want to clear out for the 2020 stock. And I have seen a bargain, an absolute bargain. So I need to convince my wife. So Evelina, if you're watching this, it's a bargain of the century, honestly. You will not get this specification of bike, type of bike, Aero Giant Propel for this money. It's super awesome. So we'll see what the bank balance is when I come back from holiday, and we may go and get one. I do hope they have some left, so you know, I didn't want them to hold on to one just in case it doesn't work out when I come back. So I've got some other commitments as well and things that I need to do. So We'll see. If it's meant to be, it'll be there for me when I come back. They've got 3 left in my size in charcoal. Looks black, but it's charcoal colour. I was corrected on that today. So charcoal colour, and it looks absolutely awesome. Looks super sleek, very, very nice. Alright, so this has been a really long film today. Mostly talking, waffling, content, you know, churning YouTube stuff. And tomorrow we go to Portugal, so see you later. See you in Portugal. Bye bye.